Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, and with me, like always, is the man who has struck a deal to continue doing this podcast for at least the foreseeable future, Noah Bailey. So, a couple of weeks ago, we reported on the fact that Sony had struck a deal with Netflix to have all future Sony movies stream exclusively on Netflix, including all future Spider-Man projects, whether that be the Venomverse or even Spider-Man 3. Or I think it was technically Spider-Man movies after 3, but regardless, that kind of made us wary about, that led credence to the idea that Spider-Man very well might distance itself from the MCU again in the future. Mm-hmm. Not a week later, it was announced that Sony, the most finicky companies on the planet, they threw the biggest curveball ever out and just announced that they struck a deal with Disney to release in 2022, within the same time window that they announced the Netflix deal would happen. Current and future Sony Marvel products movies will come to Disney Plus.
Okay. I'm not mad.
Confused but not mad.
Yeah, right. It's like good, but good news. So okay, but I don't get it. Last week we were like never ever, and this week we're like okay, sure. Was there some? Do we know how much money potentially changed hands or anything like that? Or
I have no idea. Especially since Disney and Sony have already been through this. You think there is no universe where Disney and Sony hadn't already talked about this before they signed the Netflix deal. I really, really want to know how this happened, because how it looks is that Sony announced they struck the deal with Netflix to have future Spider-Man movies, MCU Spider-Man movies, going to Netflix first, if not only Netflix. Then a week later, it looks as if Disney plopped down a blank check and was like, just let us have Spider-Man. Come on.
Hey, come on, don't be that guy.
We can buy and sell you. Just let us. Just give it to us.
Yeah.
Apparently as early as next July, Sony Marvel movies are going to start coming to Disney Plus.
Good.
I mean, I'm happy. I am. I
don't get it.
I don't get it. At least it was a quicker turnaround than when Spider-Man left the MCU back in late 2019. Yeah. That was a whole month and a half of waiting there.
All the bad PR they got for that, because it was a short period. It was only what, a couple weeks?
It was maybe a month. Yeah.
It was end of
that
September,
long, and by end of October, it was already, yeah.
But they got so much bad PR. Everyone thought Sony was the biggest, oh, you guys stink. You're just trying to ruin Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. Even though we're Marvel, at the last minute pulled the check and wrote a different agreement. But but no one's going to blame them because they're doing great. So everyone blames Sony because no one likes Sony already. But I mean, yeah, it's I think they just understand, look, obviously we're in a position where it's look, we're not the biggest fish in the pond. We gotta play ball with them. Mm-hmm. And the bad PR could be rough for them.
Yeah, I am genuinely surprised that the deal is Sony Marvel movies, not just MCU Spider-Man movies. Because I'm pretty sure stuff Spider-Man 1 through 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Venom, Morbius, any future Spider-Verse sequels, etc. Obviously MCU Spider-Man movies finally coming to Disney Plus. It's crazy how it's just weird that the big part of the headline for Sony was you can watch future Spider-Man movies on Netflix going forward. And now it's all of these Marvel movies are either also or
I guess they'll both
I don't know.
because Sony said exclusively, and then like obviously that's not going to be the case.
But
So
will
like,
it be like, let's say Spider-Verse 2, comes out next April, I think. Yes, next April. Let's say it comes out next April, and then after a month, like 2 months in the theaters, it comes to Netflix. So like by May, it's in Netflix. By June, it's in Netflix. But then by July, this contract with Disney will start up. So like, will it theoretically Spider-Verse could be on Netflix for like half a week and then go to Disney Plus?
I mean, exclusively for half a week.
Yeah.
and then it goes over. You got to advertise that exclusively, make sure. But yeah, it doesn't seem that effective, really.
A part of me wonders if a part of this deal with Sony, because it is specifically future Marvel movies, and because Spider-Man 3 is looking like it's going to be, a multiverse movie potentially with some other Sony, multiverse characters in there. I wonder if part of the deal with Disney Plus was, we'll go ahead and allow Sony, Venomverse movies to eventually bleed into the MCU. Not that I want that.
I hope not, because I don't think they fit. And also that origin with those origin. Maybe we haven't seen Morbius yet, but I know Venom's origin just feels kind of. Granted, the MCU is not famous for being comic accurate, but still.
But the symbiote suit is so cool.
I know. It is my favorite suit, which is like.
And like, since they are opening up the multiverse soon, it would be so easy to tweak the symbiote's origin story a little bit, where instead of coming from space, it comes from a different dimension. I think that would make a lot of sense and easily flow with the story they're trying to tell. But if you already have the symbiote on Eddie Brock in a separate universe that could potentially become canon to this universe, then we have to get the symbiote from a different universe, unless it's like the Venom symbiote is like, I don't want to be on Eddie Brock anymore. He jumped to Spider-Man, and then.
But that wouldn't make any sense. Like, it would kind of make sense that then Eddie would be upset at Peter, but it wouldn't be the same way. And then it would be kind of like, and also like the symbiote doesn't really have like Venom. Like, the reason Venom's so much like Spider-Man is because he was with Spider-Man first, and then like that doesn't. I don't know.
They have okay. So in the MCU. Obviously, they haven't set up Eddie Brock yet, but they have set up Flash Thompson. He's not at all like the Flash from the comics. But if in Spider-Man 3 at some point he gets paralyzed, for let's say, and then in Spider-Man 4, most of the movie, and at the end of after credits scene in Spider-Man 3, symbiote comes out of the multiverse and flashes onto Spider-Man, and then somewhere in Spider-Man 4. That's like the symbiote's movie, but then at the end of it, he gets thrown off of him. After credits, that movie, they fuse it to Flash. Boom, Agent Venom.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. Although this Flash Thompson's very different from the normal, but again, it's a new generation, new forms of bullying. But I mean,
I like it.
Yeah, I think it fit. I think it's very different, but I think everyone is kind of different. Like obviously MJ is very different. X-Men Flash is different. So it's like, it's like it kind of a modern more spin on it, kind of. It's like, again, I'm not that I've been like a kid like within the last 5 years, but like, it's like, bullying is probably a lot different. It's probably not just like, give me your lunch money. It's more like, what are those? And I don't know. I don't know what the kids say anymore.
Like clowning them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. So crazy. I'm sure it's something. I don't know.
Like, I just
ask
think
my teacher friends.
all that to say, I hope that Venom specifically isn't tied in with the MCU. I think they are on a trajectory to very seamlessly do the symbiote story and then go with not with like a new Venom that hasn't been ever done before. I think it actually be very interesting and work well with this world. Like, especially since we already have the Venom movies over in the Sony land, Disney can take that opportunity to be like, okay, we can skip Eddie Brock and go straight to Agent Venom.
Yeah.
And that will be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. They could just go because they're already doing a lot of other villains, so it's not like we need Venom specifically because we still have time. You know, they haven't even introduced Harry yet, so
Yeah.
like, you know, like there's still a lot of avenues they can go with. Like, you know, they don't have Osborn, they don't have, you know, it's like, so they can really like, yeah, they don't have to focus on just because Spider-Man has such a rogues gallery that you don't like feel like you're missing anybody just because they don't have the main.
Yeah. Although I do
villains.
think as early as 2022 with Armor Wars, I think Oscorp will be introduced. Because that whole story is about different companies getting access to Iron Man tech. It would make sense for Oscorp to be one of those.
Like not to like. Can you imagine like something from like Tony Stark becoming like the Goblin suit or like a bat
yes, I can.
or something?
Great.
Like, oh my dude, that would be so cool. Oh my god, dude. I love the Green Goblin.
Yeah. Like we already have Ned probably becoming Hobgoblin either next movie or the movie after. So like, why not try to get Green Goblin in there too?
Do you really think he's gonna like? I know he's like, I know it's the character, but like, do you really think so? Like, he just does. I don't know if he could do it. Like, he just seems too like comic relief likable. I don't know if he could like
making it all the more tragic when he turns evil.
I know, but like that's so dark. Like, it was a Marvel movie. What is this, DC? Like, that's so dark.
I mean, the Marvel shows haven't actually been rosy.
I know. I kid, but like, I don't know. Ned just seems so wholesome, dude.
No, you're right.
I can't imagine him just like. That'd be so rough. But anything's possible.
Yeah, and it is so exciting to finally have a place to watch all the MCU.
Yeah.
Minus Incredible Hulk, but who?
But I mean, who were you really trying to watch Incredible Hulk like that?
Unless something from that movie, like yes, Thunderbolt Ross was introduced in that movie, but like, who cares?
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, Ross is reintroduced basically anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
He was just
like,
a government guy in Civil War. Like,
yeah, he's a suit. Like, that's all that really matters. Yeah. Like,
he never mentioned anything about
nope.
You know, recreating the super serum or anything, just or anything about dealing with the Hulk in the past. It was just, you know, I'm just the guy. I'm just the suit for this movie, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of all that mattered.
Like, unless something from that, like, I think we're obviously on the trajectory for him to become the Red Hulk in either She-Hulk or the inevitable Thunderbolts show that is going to come later, or project, whatever, that going to come later. But then if there's something with the super soldier serum or something, you know, from Incredible Hulk that actually becomes relevant, then I'll feel a little upset that it's not on Disney Plus. But at the same time, with context, like I watched Winter Soldier before watching any other Marvel movie. Like, I get it. Like, I understood completely what was going on. I hadn't seen Captain America: The First Avenger. I think I'd only seen the Avengers. So like, you don't need to watch every movie to understand it. Marvel
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
really pretty good about giving enough context clues for you to understand.
Yeah, and like Incredible Hulk. Remember, like, it's not even the same guy. So like, you know, like if they can recast the star of the movie, I think they kind of understand it's not a huge loss. You know,
exactly.
Like they know, like, all you really need to know about the Hulk is that he's a scientist dude that when he gets angry, he goes ape and smashes.
He big, he green, he mad, like yeah.
Yeah, like as long as you get the main premise of the Hulk, you'll be fine. You don't need the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, as early as next July, finally getting Spider-Man stuff on there. It will be nice to finally have a place to rewatch the original Spider-Man trilogy, assuming that gets on there.
Because they were like, it was weird because like only Spider-Man 3, like the Raimi Spider-Man 3 was on Netflix for the longest time, but the
Right.
other ones weren't. And I think Spider-Man 2 was on somewhere. I think it's on Hulu or something. I don't know. Like they
Yeah.
were all over the place. It was weird.
Probably one of them was on the Stars Network, because why not?
Yeah, they were like everywhere. And it was just like, dude, like
Just that, like, that's why I think Sony making these kind of deals in a way makes sense. I just don't think it, like I said before, I didn't think it made sense for Sony as a production studio to be like, all of our movies are going to one place. It makes sense per franchise to be like, all the Spider-Man movies going to one place. All of, I don't even know what other movies Sony makes aside from the Smurfs. Can't even like,
they have plenty of stuff.
I know they have other stuff, but I can't, like, whatever, like different franchise going to individual places, exclusively, but saying all of Sony stuff going to Netflix.
Mhm.
I was a little miffed at, but now all Spider-Man and other Marvel stuff going Disney Plus. That's correct.
Yeah, as it should. Like that it was kind of weird that they didn't for the longest time, but yeah, as it should, they went back there.
That'll be exciting. So I want to move away from Disney for just a second. Don't worry, we have plenty of other Disney stuff to talk about later. But right now, I want to play a little game with you.
Oh boy.
This game is called Name That Movie. So I'm going to do is I am going to describe the basic plot of a movie, and you are going to tell me what movie I'm talking about.
Okay.
So this will make sense in a second. You'll
I'm sure.
So this is a movie about two titans of nerd culture fighting. There's no real reason given as to why these characters are fighting in the movie other than just to have the movie happen, but whatever, it's still a cool idea. One character has had a whole movie extra on the other character, but the studio is like, you know what, the other character who hasn't had as much screen time yet, generally speaking, he's in the general eye of the pop culture enough, or they'll understand, they'll get it, like them coming together, people understand. One of the title characters was deemed a hero in the last movie, despite destroying a ton of stuff, and the other didn't. Most people don't even really know he exists, yet the movie puts him up as this big deal, yet we haven't really seen him do a lot, but like, like cool, like sure, like even though we don't really know what all he can do, sure, he can fight the other Titan, whatever. So yeah, they fight. There are other characters involved. There are a bunch of other side characters, but it seems like their plot is solely tailored on what is the best way to get these two characters to fight, and that is their entire purpose in this movie.
Yep.
So the two characters fight. It's a pretty cool fight, at least the first time you watch it. It's a pretty cool fight, and then it just kind of ends for a reason that's not very well explained, or if it is explained, it's not done well. Like one character has the other character pinned, but then he doesn't kill him. Not really,
because we still have more movie left. Yeah,
it's like half an hour of movie. Like why? Like the title happened. Why are we still going anyway? But so yeah, that the fight has happened. Like the move, like the main plot of the movie has happened. But then you have the B plot of the movie over here, which is like really the A plot, because the real A plot only exists because they want the title of the movie to happen.
Right.
Whereas the B plot is really where character development and conflict actually happens. So really the B plot is like where the movie really happens, even though it's not the title of the movie, whatever. And it doesn't even really affect the title of the movie much. It's just, but it's the more important stuff, narratively speaking. Anyway, the B plot consists of a girl character investigating an underdeveloped villain because they believe a conspiracy is happening that the audience is well aware of, or at least can piece together very easily, making the suspense of the girl character finding out,
not surprise. Who saw it coming? Then, the evil rich mastermind head of a company was obviously a part of the problem the whole time. Who saw that coming?
Then the underdeveloped villain reveals that he has a piece of the villain from the last movie, and he is using that villain to create a new monster that he is created solely to control and kill one of the other
original.
Titans. Then, as soon as he unleashes this other Titan to the world in this new upgraded, cool form, that Titan goes and attacks the other villain and then leaves. And as soon as he's leaving, the two title characters who have built no real rapport and have no reason to not hate each other, even though they just got done trying to kill each other 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
They now have teamed up to take on the new villain. Although that's
the original, really, but we didn't know it, villain who's actually the real problem.
Which is actually a really cool concept, even though it's not explored at all in this movie. Like the main, like one of the main characters and this new old villain have beef in the last movie, yet that's not explored at all in this movie. Whatever, it's fine. They team up and fight the main villain and then go their separate ways. And all the characters in the world and every person in the world now loves and adores and praise both characters, even though they both cause a lot of pain and suffering along the way.
Killed everyone in the entire city. Yeah.
Movie.
Me and my brother were talking about this the other day because we were watching this. It was like, is this doing what I think it's doing? Because it was after the first fight, and it was kind of like, wait a minute, they're not going to set this up the way I think they're going. And it's like, oh, we're creating. Like, oh no, there's no way they're making another. Oh my God, they're making another one. No, but he's gonna. Oh no, they're gonna fight each. No, but they're gonna. It's like, oh, they're not gonna team up. Oh my God, they're teaming. Like, it was so like
Godzilla versus Kong is exactly Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
It is uncanny how close.
The only difference is Godzilla doesn't die. That's the only difference.
But
that's the only difference.
King Kong almost dies though.
Yes. Yes. Like none of it. Like and the thing that is annoying about it is because like it feels like you kind of just like nothing about the movie is. It's like. The movie should just understand we are here to see giant monsters fighting and go. And a little bit, it was kind of like, okay, we see that this is happening, this is cool. And then it's just like weird subplot, go. And like I understand we're like not here for the subplot, but they have to have something. But the subplots made no sense.
Yeah.
At all. Like,
I didn't like I was like,
what is happening?
Like Millie Bobby Brown was given nothing to do in this movie. Like she was just like she would maybe even be the best actress in the movie, yet she wasn't given anything to do except for just kind of look around being bewildered and scared. But like we know she can do more than that. Like whatever. And then the kid from Deadpool 2 is just kind of there. Like why like he just shows up.
That's what. Okay, I knew I recognized that kid. I was like, that kid looks familiar. But I get that. Yeah, it's what is his name in the movie in Deadpool?
Clarence.
It's crap. I don't know. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, like it was so. It felt. First of all, it was extremely forced to the point where you were just like, why is this important? Like even if their whole even they did discover whatever they did. You didn't need any of that in the entire movie. Like you could have just had it show up.
Yeah,
like you didn't need to
been in the movie, and nothing would have changed.
No,
literally,
they didn't do anything.
Literally, like it felt like a reshoot just to pad out the movie because what they end up kind of doing was pouring the liquor on the computer that made Mechagodzilla no longer connected to the satellite.
Sorry, but that is the worst. Like that resolution was awful.
Exactly. Like it disconnected Mechagodzilla from the satellite, so Mechagodzilla kind of like paused for a second, but then kept going. So it's like it didn't even matter. King Kong could have just gotten himself out of that situation earlier, and you didn't even need that subplot to exist.
Yeah, it was kind of like it tried to make like, oh, this big difference happened. It's like, well, the thing's like I thought it was just gonna shut down. I was like, okay, if it just shuts down, that's lame. But whatever. But it was still kind of fighting, and it was just like, oh, what? Because the move running out of time, they're just gonna get this like Deus Ex Machina to win. Like it was so weird. And also, I did not understand. Like, first of all, like why? How does literally two high schoolers
Mhm.
and some random some random drunk guy. Like, first of all, I don't even know. First, they somehow sneak into this super government facility.
Yep.
No one even like sees. Like, how does that even happen? Like, I'm sorry.
And then they just accidentally get in a pod, and that
Like,
goes to the climax. Like how did they? Why did
yeah,
that go there?
yeah, that made no sense. And like, I don't know. And also, okay, also this is kind of different, but like, okay, so you know how like in the beginning they're talking about like if Kong goes out in the world, Godzilla will find him. It's like
Mhm.
based on what? Like, does Godzilla just have like a plot sense that he can just sense he needs to be played? Like,
I
is that
guess.
because like it's not like he was like roaring, he was asleep half the time on a boat. So
Yeah.
like not even interacting with the water, like he's just kind of around. Like how? And then Godzilla finds him exactly, and they're like in the middle of nowhere, and Godzilla just shows up exactly. Like, come on, like there was no reason for Godzilla to be there
Yep.
at all, and he just kind of showed up. Like if they had brought the mech with them, and Godzilla showed up, I would have been like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it was explicitly said earlier in the movie that Godzilla was upset that Apex was trying to make a new Apex Predator,
right.
which makes it even more confusing why people were like deeming that Godzilla was like a bad guy now when he was only attacking this clearly bad company anyway. Like that
Yeah,
was the
like
only evidence we had of him attacking people, and we don't know why. It was Apex. Like they're not good people. Like we already know this.
I
Yet,
mean, the guy talks on. I mean, it's a rich guy in a suit with an accent. In any movie, that's the bad guy. Like,
exactly.
sorry.
And like Monarch, the Billy Bobby Brown's dad, uh, Monarch is at like rivals with Apex. So why wouldn't he be like, oh, I don't even care that Apex is getting attacked like
Yeah,
that? Like,
yeah. I didn't understand. Yeah, like I don't know. I call him Coach Taylor because I don't know if you've ever seen
yeah,
Friday Night Lights, but
yeah.
every time he says, but yeah, but then Coach Taylor's just like, well, get out of trouble. And all. So I'm like. What do you what like it felt weird because like he was some like around they're like we got to take you to this location. It's like why, what is he gonna do, like
He was
just
in like
watch
two
stuff
scenes
go
of the
down?
movie. Like he
Like I know he's been in the other movies so like he needs script, but it was like it felt weird that they were like rushing him to the scene where Godzilla was to
yeah.
like watch the city get blown up. It was
Yes.
like what why are you bringing me to ground zero just to sit there if I can't do anything? Like
Oh
I
no.
was so weird to me. It was like I'm just watching, which apparently, okay. Also, he went to Hong Kong both times, right?
Yes.
How is Hong Kong like? How many buildings do they have? Okay, like
It's
I
like
understand it's one of the biggest cities in the world, but like the first time, he pretty much blew up half the time, and they
oh
come
in
back and have this like,
oh you mean in the very beginning?
yeah.
No, that was in somewhere in Florida, I think.
I was in Florida.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
I
was
didn't know
somewhere in
where that.
America.
Okay, sorry, but
Like I was
okay, maybe
mistaken.
I
Yeah.
was mixed up. It was.
Well,
It seemed like it was somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe I just got confused because it was at the very beginning, and I was like, I don't know what happened, but like, it was just like everyone seemed so casual also about monsters going on. Like that was something that I kind of was weird in this movie because
well,
like especially. God, sorry.
I mean, in the previous movie, we had like six monsters all at the same time. We had
Yeah.
Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, and like two others that were like also just
Yeah,
around.
but like, I mean, that doesn't mean it's like casual to see someone get like stepped on. You know what I'm
Oh, you're
saying?
right.
Like, I mean, I don't think I'll ever be so used to that I'm just like, okay, she was like the little girl, right? The girl's like 6 years old. You like what? Like, especially that scene where they're in that whole weird wherever Kong's ancestors, whatever, wherever they're in that place, and those like bat things just rip people apart and like take their body. You know, I got like Clone Wars flashbacks from Geonosis when they're just
Right.
like, wow, like just like, oh god, like
Yeah.
and the little girl's just like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
That
how do you not need therapy forever after seeing that? You just saw somebody's guts ripped out in front of you.
yeah, that kind of ties into another point I wanted to bring up. Just like BVS, even though this movie has a way shorter timeline, like time is only an hour and
Yeah,
50 something minutes.
yeah,
This movie tried to do like four movies in one. Like it was primarily a King Kong movie, but it was also trying to be, a Godzilla sequel. It was trying to be a Godzilla versus Kong fight. It also introduced Mechagodzilla, which could easily just be the next villain of a Godzilla movie. Even though, so like they didn't, so they just felt like he was just kind of wasted here, even though it was a cool fight, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, like the hidden world in the center of the planet thing,
Yeah.
that's a really,
That was a
really
lot.
cool concept. The entire movie could take place in there alone. 20 minutes of the movie, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I feel like this is very like it was felt rushed because like yeah, that felt like that could have been its own movie, or at least like a gigantic plot point. It was kind of just
Yeah.
we're just here because we need to do something before the climax in 20 minutes.
Like if I feel like I feel like if like King Kong the movie happened, like the first of the Kong Skull Island, this is King Kong, some subtitle, where he actually becomes King Kong, and that entire movie is about him, or someone coercing him, whatever, to go to that core Earth place, and then him fighting some other big monsters there, and then claiming the throne of that entire world down there. And then him claiming control of that world while Godzilla is like the king of the earth. I could easily see that being why Godzilla and Kong need to fight, to be like, who is the real ruler
There's
of the
gonna
whole
only be
planet.
one.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
Yeah,
just
they kind of they think they like came like a movie too fast maybe for this, because again similar to another movie that will remain unnamed, but yeah, it kind of felt like both characters kind of needed another thing, another like plot point or two to kind of establish the character before we get to this point.
Yeah,
It
like
kind of just
Godzilla, I think,
together.
was at a right point because he had just killed King Ghidorah. Like he already established as the king of the monsters. Like, sure, that makes sense. So then, if you also have, his calling him King Kong going into this, would have made it that much stronger. Not that like it really matters, because the Godzilla versus Kong fight in Hong Kong was very, very good. Like the fight itself, the like 5 to 8 minutes of the fight, when it wasn't cutting back to the
random
B/A plot, whatever,
necessary.
when they're actually fighting, it is literally everything I would have wanted out of this
scenario.
Like jumping building from building, taking
actually like using tactics, like he like threw the thing and distracted, then jumped on his back, and like actually real fight moves. Godzilla did like a over the shoulder like throw, like a
like, it was like using his tail, using his claws, biting, just an entire arsenal to actually fight, using the city to your advantage, like actually taking advantage of the scenario.
Or in the beginning, he actually like tries to drown Kong because he knows that I can swim, he can't. Like real fighting, like it felt
like both fights are actually really good. Like even the fight in the boats was a little shorter, and like you knew Godzilla was gonna win because it was in the middle of nowhere, in the middle, in the middle of the ocean. But like, it was still a really cool fight, and I even appreciate the fact that Kong lost the first fight definitively, and then he also lost the second fight definitively. I thought that was a really cool. Like, you don't really see that very much. Like even though Kong was like more or less the main character of the movie, and he was built up as like going to be the winner, Godzilla still won. I love that.
Yeah, he gave him the bit both times. Like that's like the first thing I said. I was like, yo, he just gave him the bit place. What's up? Like, and also I thought it was interesting that like, even though it was weird because like, even though Godzilla was like obviously like beat Kong, he like didn't go. I thought it was interesting because the first time when he didn't kill him, it was kind of like, okay, just the same move. But like the second time, it kind of felt like, okay, he has a reason. He actually doesn't want to kill. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of felt more like a choice.
The way I kind of got it, it wasn't explained at all. I feel the little girl that did the sign language, I feel since she has a connection with Kong, she could have explained it, but whatever. I felt probably something along the lines of Godzilla, unless he sees you as a direct threat, he kills you. But if not, he's like, you're just my subject now. That's why he didn't kill Rodan or any of the other ones aside from Ghidorah in the last movie. So because he beat King Kong twice, he's like, I don't need to kill you. Like you're more useful to me as a servant. For like, I think that Yeah, it did work out because
Yeah,
they
help.
fought King Mechagodzilla together. They definitely could have explained that better, but whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely something that could have been explained. Still kind of was done well, but like, yeah, if they had explained it, would have been a lot better. Because like, because I understand they're obviously giant monsters, they don't talk, but like that was a situation you could do a lot of showing and telling there.
Yes,
But
especially since the main characters on the Kong side basically didn't exist in this movie. Like they didn't do like Alexander Skarsgård's character. Why are you here?
no,
The woman who's like kind of the surrogate mother of the little girl.
yeah,
She just annoyed me.
yeah, she's just there to like translate the sign language, even though we have subtitles.
Yeah.
But like they don't, so they need someone to say what she's thinking,
Mhm.
and then and everyone else in the movie was just basically there to like every character in this movie that wasn't like a good guy was just there to get like ripped apart on screen,
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly.
It was
And
kind of
like I said before, they did this twice where the villain of the previous movie comes back in a new, cool, eviler form and fights the main character from the previous movie who beat them the last time. And that's not explored. It, like it wasn't mentioned a single time that be just it was Ghidorah's head in Mechagodzilla. That is why he turned evil and went crazy and went after Godzilla. Like that is the text of that being like, yes, he is being controlled. Like he was created by the people at Apex, but it is still Ghidorah inside. He sensed Godzilla nearby, so he went to go attack him. Yeah, that was never explained. That was never like
expanded at all.
Yeah. And this, like I said, the exact same thing happened with General Zod turning into Doomsday for some reason.
Yeah, which again should not have happened.
No.
But here we are.
It was like maybe one scene where like Doomsday destroyed that one statue of Superman, but like again, it wasn't. It's not strong enough to like really explore that and up.
Yeah,
Like,
there was nothing telling you like this was Zod other than the movie saying, "Oh yeah, we're using Zod's body." It wasn't like I can kind of tell that Zod kind of controls. Like no, it's just random monster killing machine.
Yeah. So like, I was watching on like a sitting. I didn't go anywhere. It was just on HBO Max. I was sat down to watch this movie for giant monsters fighting. Yeah. I fully expected Mechagodzilla to happen because it was already spoiled in the first trailer. First 2 seconds of the trailer. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I really didn't like that because, and again, it kind of already gave everyone the idea of okay, well now Mechagodzilla is the bad guy, so they're obviously going to team up and not actually fight. Yeah. And everyone knew that. And then when it happened in the movie, it's just like,
yeah, okay. But it was really cool though. Like when they actually did team up together to fight Mechagodzilla, and like they like looked at each other, had a moment of understanding, and like actually like tag teamed him for a little bit. And like both took him by his shoulder and like slammed him into that building. Like it was so cool. But we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And we'd already seen it in BVS. So it kind of lost its weight.
It wasn't the same.
Like I said, I was here to watch giant monsters fight. The giant monsters fighting part was really cool. Like yes. I think I've said this before, but like there are 4 or 5 movie sequences that like I watch like once a month just because they are so awesome. This like their fight very easily could be one of those, because assuming I can skip through the annoying parts, because like I said before, there's no fast forward button on HBO Max. There's a rewind 15 seconds button. There's no skip forward 15 seconds button. I can just 15 seconds is literally all I need to skip over the Millie Bobby Brown parts.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been easier to deal with if it had made more sense with like the subplots, but like they literally made no like yeah, like and even the part following Congress, it was kind of just like, okay, why are we doing this again? Like it kind of felt like we were just doing this just because
they
something to
were
do.
only doing it to then power up Mechagodzilla. Like if the movie was focused on King Kong wanting to reclaim his original land in the core Earth dimension, which it is his own dimension, like
Which
right
is
because they
so
go through a
crazy.
portal to get there, but Godzilla can just shoot a laser beam straight down.
Yeah, okay, yeah. How did that work exactly? Like Godzilla said, Sally, like it went exactly there. Also, why? How did it stop there?
I don't
It's kind of
know.
micro. Like, how did it not just go through the whole Earth at that logic? And also, there's no way you can tell me that like just jump down there. It's cool. Like
I
that
don't
made
know.
no sense.
I don't
Like
know.
that was some Looney Tune stuff right there. They just kind of he just kind of jumps down there and then shows up on the other side
Yep.
unscathed. I'm like, what?
I mean,
Like,
he got there fine, so I guess he can come out fine. I
but
don't
they
know.
did not. I guess I don't know. That just made no sense to me. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
like I understand it's the climax and we got to wrap up, but like that, come on. He literally Bugs Bunny'd it. Like there was no, I don't, I don't know, but
So yeah, I like a part of me did actually kind of like this movie because like on the strength of the monsters fighting, like the title happening, but almost every single human character annoys me so much. I don't think I can watch the entirety of it again.
no, I don't really want to.
No.
Because yeah, the human and again, we knew this going in. The people part, other than just get out of the way, was gonna be annoying. We knew that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was kind of more annoying than it could have been because what the humans were doing made no sense,
Yep.
and just how casual. It's like it was so like everyone was so calm in this movie. No one in this movie should have been calm.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous stuff going on. Even if we're used to other monsters, still being in it, you have a
Yeah.
whole fleet of ships. Every single one of them, except your ship, is gone, and you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, that's crazy. That's like, how are you so like? I don't know. And like, why are humans so confident? I don't understand that. Like, I understand. Okay, so like, you know how there's always airplanes just so they can get smacked or eaten or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Why? At this point, why do you even like try?
I don't
I
know.
mean, like, I understand you have to defend people, and I respect that, but like, if that was real and like the military was doing that, I'm like, what are you doing? There's nothing you can do to that. Like, your
No,
missile
you've
is
tried
like,
this twice already before.
I know. Like, I mean,
The,
was it not enough to get like twirl wing smacked in the other
the
movie to
giant
like,
three-headed dragon from space couldn't take him out. Why do you think some missiles?
right? Right? I mean, this guy can nuke you with his morning breath, and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, we'll get him. This missile will get him. I'm like, really?
No,
Come on, like I don't know. I don't get I would like if that was me. I'm like I'm just leaving. Like I don't
yeah.
understand that at all. I'm like
I also just
give up.
remember the beginning of this movie, like during the opening credits, it was like the opening credits were played over this epic music over like this like a bracket of like Godzilla taking on these other
Mm-hmm.
monsters, and then on the other side, King Kong taking on these other monsters. So they showed, Godzilla taking on the like Mordos, I think what they're called from the first one, and then Rodan and King Ghidorah to finally get here, and it was like Kong take on the skull crawlers, and now he's here. It's like clearly we needed more than just he took on these like big lizard things, kind like I don't even know what they are, like these weird like dinosaur looking things from Skull Island, which are like not even as big as him.
They're like dinosaur snake things.
Yeah,
I'm not even.
we need more than that to be like, oh yeah, he could take on Godzilla.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of get like granted he's giant monkey, but like
But
I
like I
don't
said,
know. That's a lot of
if he fought his way tooth and nail through the core Earth for over half a movie to then claim the throne of that entire realm, sure, then you can take on a nuclear lizard. But until like
nuclear lizard.
smashing one one giant crocodile's head in is not enough to take
Yeah,
on Godzilla.
yeah. I don't know. It didn't really seem, but then again, the movie did kind of like Godzilla did give him the business on both occasions
Yes,
as
yes,
expected.
that
So
they
that
that
was
is
that was
exactly
kind of
how
didn't
that
make
should have
sense
gone.
because he has a way, because Godzilla's a veteran. He's been doing this for a while. You don't just, he's roughed him up a little while, so
Not
he
to
kind of
mention, like, you can have the biggest axe in the world.
oh, he did not care.
No,
He did
come
not care.
on.
He did not care. Now, but again, something that was really smart. After he hit him with the axe that one time, and then Kong like hit him with the wound again, and like I love when like movies and like shows do that, with, like fight scenes where like someone obviously is injured, and then like they actually like, hey, let's hit them where they're injured,
Yep.
like a regular person in a fight would do. Like
Uh-huh.
such a smart
Yeah.
thing to do. I'm like, yes, okay, thank you. That is how that would go.
Yeah. And if the idea of Ghidorah actually like really being the one in control, because it was implied but it wasn't explicitly said, so like we can only really imply it, infer it, whatever. If that was explicitly said in the movie, that would actually make the scene where Godzilla allowed Kong to kill Mecha Godzilla even stronger. That it's like, I already killed this guy, you're in a better position, use the axe, like combine our powers, get him. Which was like, I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That even though Godzilla theoretically would have had this beef with not only Ghidorah but also Mecha Godzilla, like something created to kill him,
Right.
he allowed Kong to do it. Like, that I thought was really cool. Would have been stronger if they actually kind of built that idea up a little better, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a fun, dumb move. Like, it's very, very dumb. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
and like,
recommend. I would recommend the fight scenes. I wouldn't recommend the movie.
no, the movie kind of didn't make any sense. But again, we're not here for the plot points. We're here for big monkey versus what is it, electric lizard or what is
Yeah.
it? Like I don't know. Like it yeah. I mean, the movie's a meme basically. It's,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's still just like it didn't have to be.
Like, it's also one of those movies that I can kind of forgive the plot holes and stuff that doesn't make sense because it's so short and clearly stuff was cut, but I don't think I would have liked the stuff that would be added. Because like Godzilla, the King of the Monsters was like 2.5 hours. It was 40 minutes too long. Whereas this was a neat, clean hour and 50 minutes, as opposed to something like Batman v Superman, which the real version of that movie is 3 hours.
3
long.
hours.
Still doesn't make any sense.
It just adds on to things that you already were like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So if they had actually shaved down the stuff that didn't make sense, and like the theatrical cut did, anyone that actually said the like real version, the Ultimate Edition is like significantly better. Like I don't think we watched the same movie anyway. Like, because it is so long and so arduous, I care a lot more. A, because you make me sit through more movie, and B, you had so much more time to work this out, and you just didn't.
Right.
Godzilla v Kong is mercifully short. The parts that are good are enhanced more, and the parts that are bad feel less impactful because they're overall shorter, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, you can forgive the little stuff that makes sense because it's like, well, we're not really here for that. It's a shorter movie. It's fine. I'll give. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I ended up now. I was originally going to see this in theaters, and I didn't, and I ended up not. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, even though it looked like it doesn't look the same on TV. Like in the theater, I would have been like more upset about it. I think because like it just
if there was a way to just watch a 30-minute cut of this movie, which is literally just the boat fight and then the Hong Kong fight with none of the human characters interacting with it, I would totally watch that.
Yeah. Like the fight, awesome. Everything else.
I would spend the full $16 ticket just to watch 30 minutes of
in the movie theater. Yeah, they're really and the CG didn't look bad. Like the CG didn't look pretty good. Like it was like, yeah.
I do feel like scaling was kind of very off throughout the entire movie. Like Kong explicitly was said in Kong Skull Island that he was just a child in that movie and he was gonna get bigger. Then in Godzilla v Kong, he didn't there was nothing put to scale aside from Godzilla, which I'll get to in a second, to make it look like he got any bigger,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it even more confusing that it looks like they downscaled Godzilla. Because at the end of Godzilla versus King of the Monsters, he's like twice as big as like the tallest building in whatever city they were in.
Yeah, he did look way. He did. Like, he kind of looks yeah, they kind of look like it was like buildings were like up to here. Then they look like they're like big
They were
kids
like
playing
about neck
blocks.
high, as opposed to him like towering over them.
Yeah, it looked like he seemed kind of not as giant.
Yeah, and like maybe Hong Kong buildings are that much bigger than San Francisco or New York or wherever they
I
were.
don't think.
I don't think they are. Like not
I
that much
mean,
bigger.
probably not. But I mean, not all of them. Maybe a couple. But like, I wouldn't like the skyline. I wouldn't assume it's just like way higher or way shorter. But I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
been to either, so I can't
Yeah.
really talk.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it didn't really matter because because they were a little shorter, they were able to utilize the environment a little bit like that much better. If they were
Yeah.
just able to crush a building with their foot, it wouldn't have been as interesting of a fight.
Yeah.
So Kong would be able to like jump between buildings and like rip pieces off and throw them. Like it was
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah, like and actually being able to hide and duck. Like that was actually, I thought they used their size to the advantage, even though they should have been bigger. So
So yeah, and like because they used it well, I can forgive that easily.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not going to give it a score. I don't think it deserves one. It's just like I don't. It's not a movie I can be like, because I couldn't be objective, because like the parts I didn't like, I just don't care about. The parts I did like, I really liked.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even begin to know where to score it. I'm gonna be like, if you still have HBO Max, I think it leaves there tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like
tomorrow
30th,
or
I think.
maybe the 31st.
Okay.
Yep. Wait,
One
no, sorry, April didn't have a 31st. Yeah, end of April.
There it is.
There you go. So yeah, so it's at the end of April to watch the last 30 minutes if you want to.
Honestly, yeah, because like, yeah, you're not missing much. I mean, you're missing, I don't know, like, I was getting almost like Transformers vibes with like the people with kind of like where they have like Anthony Anderson and the other people kind of just going around with the Transformers. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like, why are we here?
Mhm.
They're just running around, not helping. They're just, I don't know, but
Yeah.
eh.
So yeah, I don't not recommend the good parts. I definitely do recommend the good parts.
Yes.
But
wait a little while till the fight clips are on YouTube, and then watch those.
Yeah, there's gonna be like a with health bars clip of it on YouTube that cuts out all the fluff.
Those are pretty good. It's gonna be like they're fighting, and then like a big health bar that Godzilla comes
Godzilla, like player 3 enters the match. Like what?
Here comes a new challenger.
Which have you actually watched a with health bars edit of the Batman v Superman fight?
Not that fight, no.
It so clearly illustrates just how boring that fight is to actually see it laid out there, because like Godzilla versus Kong, that fight is very back and forth. They're like Kong does a bunch of punches and bites and like actually gets some hits in, and then Godzilla throws him around a little bit. Kong has to retreat and then counterattack. It's like and you actually like feel each individual hit to the point where like when Kong goes down, it's like that makes sense. Like they had a good fight. He's down. It was a very back and forth good fight. In BVS, there's no back and forth. There's no tension. It's just Superman gets a few punches in, and then Batman hits him with kryptonite and then beats him around a bit.
Yeah.
Superman gets back up, but then Batman just hits him with kryptonite again and wins. Like the health bar, like for Batman, barely moves the entire fight. Like it's just so boring.
Which does make sense, because like if Superman, hits Batman not with assuming he hasn't been hit with kryptonite, if Superman really gets a good hit on Batman, it's probably the whole fight. But like
the fight in Dark Knight Returns, which is also on that same channel I'm referring to, actually is a good back and
Yeah.
forth fight.
Yeah, but I mean but we know that. I mean, we know, that's not. I mean, that's the whole argument. I mean, that's the whole channel right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, and it's interesting because too, it also shows like how it's paced too. Because if like one person getting hit takes like no damage, and another person that hit takes like a quarter of their bar, it's like this fight was not very much scaled, was it? Like it was very kind of choppy thrown together, and like Martha's a critical hit or whatever. So like I don't know how that goes, but it just kind of
yeah, like I don't know, like you said, if you can find the fight clip on YouTube, either fight, honestly, or I guess all three technically, if you count the Mechagodzilla fight as a different fight than the Godzilla v Kong one, because like Godzilla v Kong is a definitive, like there's a winner here, and then that's like a separate thing. So yeah, if you can watch like an edit that cuts out all the fluff of the three major fights in the movie, I would highly recommend that. Skip the rest of the movie.
Yes, no, it's not worth it. It's lit, and it's weird because like you immediately know who the good and bad. You don't even know the bad. Okay, that's the bad guy. That's for everyone's just very much okay. They're gonna die. They're not gonna die. That's a child. She won't die. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of immediately knew. Okay, everyone who's not this person, that person, that person, they're all done.
Yeah. By the end of the movie. But unfortunately, like that one Asian guy who was the
like controlling.
Controlling Mechagodzilla for a couple of seconds before like he died, even though like he wasn't involved. He was just like along for the ride. Like he was actually apparently the son of the Asian guy from the first movie, the one that like that guy. He was the son of that guy.
Okay.
That was never said in the movie. I don't even think he was ever named.
Nope. It was not even mentioned. He wasn't named. He was just Asian guy.
like, literally, it doesn't even make sense why that Ghidorah skull exploded. It just fried him.
And I don't understand because like it was working fine before theoretically because they had tested it a couple times. I guess it was like once they got the like sample or whatever energy from.
Yeah, I
still don't really understand that.
Don't worry about it.
But and then all of us, this sample that was so important that all our people died for it.
Again, like I assume because they should have explained this better, but I assume it's because Godzilla was nearby the Ghidorah that was left inside the robot, like since that fully took control and then went to fight him. Again, they should have explained that better, but I guess that's what they were going for.
But that's like, I mean, that's expecting you to do a lot of thinking for the movie.
Yeah. Although I kind of despise the scene where the main three in the BA plot like first get into that room where they first see Mechagodzilla, and one of them's like, they made a robot Godzilla, and then the Deadpool 2 kid is like, no, it's Mechagodzilla. It's like,
way to hit on.
First of all, the difference between a mecha and a robot, or a mecha has a human inside of it controlling it. You had no way of knowing a human was controlling that robot at the time. 2, robot Godzilla is describing what that thing is.
I was like, yeah.
Like from your perspective, there was no reason to correct her or whoever said it to say, no, it's not a robot Godzilla. That's a mecha Godzilla. Like you had no way of knowing that. Like 3, you only called it that because that's like, because we know it's called that.
Yeah. Very much like, plot, not product placement, but like, he said it. He said the thing.
I kind of hate when movies do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there's no in-universe reason for it to look or be called this, but because the audience has an attachment to that, we'll throw it in there.
You didn't even have to name it. It was just like, just Robot Godzilla, Mechagodzilla. Like, it was funny because then other people were calling it Mechagodzilla after he said that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like that weren't in the room. Like I was like, wait, how does she know it's Mecha Godzilla? She's been here the whole.
I don't know.
Because I thought that was, I don't know, I didn't think about it until you brought that up. And I was like, yeah, that all of a sudden after this moment, characters not in the room at that time also were like, yes, that is in fact Mecha Godzilla. I remember because I was totally there, even though I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah.
But
like it sucks that they wasted Mecha Godzilla in this movie when that should have just been in Godzilla 3, I guess. But
do you think they're gonna make another one? I don't know. I feel like they're not gonna make another one of these. Do you think so?
They absolutely are. This movie did way better than any MonsterVerse movie at the box office, even during COVID time. Like it did double what they expected it to do at the box office.
Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. Okay, but now what's the plot gonna be?
There's still a third Ghidorah head out there somewhere.
Ah, that's
right. Although they specifically said that the heads had like a neuro link with each other.
So yeah, they're like psychic or something.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure if the other head will be able to act on its own.
So wait. So is the Ghidorah like 3 with one body, or is it like 3 beings with one body, or is it one body with 3 heads?
It's one being with 3 heads, but like the way they explained it in the movie was because his neck is so long. Like I don't even, it was a really dumb explanation, but something about because their necks are so long, the heads need to be psychically linked in order to like actually know what the other is doing.
So that's probably going to be a comeback.
But they already did
Mecha Ghidorah now.
But that is actually a thing in the.
Yeah, I'm sure. I want to say I'm sure it is. This affects everything probably.
But you already did Mecha Ghidorah with him being inside of Mecha Godzilla. I don't know.
There's a Mecha everything. There's a Mecha Frieza, so I'm sure there's a Mecha Ghidorah.
True.
There's a everything.
Yeah. So, but like they're absolutely making like a full-on King Kong movie at some point. Guarantee they're making Godzilla 3/4, whichever you look at it. Like.
Do you think Kong's gonna keep the axe or whatever that was?
Probably.
It kind of felt. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of felt very like. Okay, first of all, it was weird that it was just there. Like they went to his like home or whatever, and it was like, oh yeah, this is where your answer. Like in this like perfectly usable weapon is just kind of here, and I was just kind of like,
I know. Again, if they explained it a little better, like even though it was a shorter movie, they had the runtime to explain this stuff.
Yeah.
I assume it was a relic from the like big monkey versus Godzilla ancestor fights from the past.
I guess.
Like because they said like they're the last of their kind. They had like the last of the warring factions of thousands of years ago. So I assume that was like a relic of that time because that's a Godzilla-esque beings like fin spike on that, which is why it was able to charge the radioactive breath. So I assume thousands of years ago, somebody, some monster made that and is just here. I guess I don't know. It didn't explain it in the show. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, it was something, but I mean, no big. I mean, no big deal. It was still for what the parts that we should have been there for. We're good.
Yes.
The rest of it was not, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So, like I said, if that's what you're here for, you'll enjoy the parts that you're here for.
Fair enough.
So, last little bit of Warner Brothers news before we go back to Disney is it officially confirmed that DC Fandom 2021 is happening this year on October 16th.
Woo!
So. Cool. If they don't hashtag restore the Snyderverse by the end of October 16, 2021, Twitter is going to explode. Yep. I'll be here for it.
Yep. It's gonna be awful, but I'm sure something. It's DC stuff as a whole. It's not just the extended universe. So like, there will be other great stuff going on.
Yeah,
so,
like we're gonna probably get the first trailer for Black Adam.
Yeah.
Go on Shazam, Wrath of the Gods, I think is what it's called.
Flash stuff.
Yeah, Flash,
Apparently,
Flashpoint, whatever it's called.
yeah, it's apparently happening.
Yeah,
Supposedly, I'm still a little iffy, but we'll see.
our first tease of what Wonder Woman 3 is going to look like, maybe officially announcing the Green Lantern Corps project.
That looks good.
Yeah, because we know that a Green Lantern was apparently supposed to maybe show up in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but somewhere it was mandated to not happen. Instead, replace it with Martian Manhunter at the end. Either way, it wouldn't have made sense because why weren't they
Nope.
fighting for the what's the point of having Green Lantern be a protector of this planet if he's not going to protect the planet? Whatever, it's fine, whatever. Not really.
It was like, what, were you on break for the whole movie? Like, I don't.
So if the actor that was supposed to play Jon Stewart there does end up actually getting his own movie or show, I think that'd be cool. I know there was like the rumored Batgirl. There was a rumored Zatanna show. There's a rumored GCPD show that I don't want.
Awesome, but this time without Bruce Wayne, which is weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, if it stars J.K. Simmons, maybe, but I don't.
Okay, but like, yeah, but even then, that would have to be doing a lot because like, no one cares about the Gotham Police Department.
No,
without Batman at all. You're basically a running gag.
Exactly. Like, so there are a ton of different possibilities, a ton of different because there was actually a pretty decent amount of stuff announced at this past year's DC Fandom. Not to mention, game stuff. We'll probably get a new trailer for Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
Woo!
Whatever other, like maybe Injustice 3. Injustice 3? Yeah, maybe.
Now's the time. Mortal Kombat just came out. Like, now's the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's probably going to be fun. For, I guess, their sake, I hope they at least someone references the Snyderverse somewhere so they'll just shut up about it. But if not, I hope they give up, I guess. I don't know. I know they like those people like these movies, so I'm not gonna like wish ill on them, but like just don't
ruin it by just trying to. Yeah.
Don't go into it like I've said, with Nintendo Directs, if there's not something with Zelda or Star Fox or F-Zero, the Direct sucks. Supposedly. Even if there's a lot of other stuff cool announced, if it doesn't have these things that I want, the Direct sucks. So even if they do announce 15 new movies that are probably going to be really cool and new trailers for stuff we already know about that's going to be cool, if they don't hashtag restore the Snyderverse, this whole event sucks and Warner Brothers can just die for all I care. Like,
yeah,
stop it. No.
It's just like, dude, like you can enjoy, like there's so much more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Fan culture has become kind of toxic in most medias. So
yeah. Generally speaking, the MCU fan base is like not terrible. Generally speaking, like the individual movies can get a little toxic, like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, etc., for obvious reasons. But like generally speaking, the MCU fan base is like pretty well behaved.
Yeah, for now. I'm sure I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know. Maybe something happens and then, oh my God. Like, once like a huge decision happens that people aren't okay with, then like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Hashtag, I don't know, something.
I don't know.
But hopefully it will never come to that. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Hopefully. So yeah, DC Fandom in October. I'm excited. Yeah. What I'm really hoping for is some information on Wonder Woman 3, and that information looking not trash, because I'm going into Wonder Woman 3 with middling expectations.
Yeah, because that second one.
The second one's also bad. I'm sorry. Kathleen Kennedy needs to make her not touch Rogue Squadron. I know Patty Jenkins, I know that she said that Rogue Squadron is the movie she wanted to make her entire life, but if you get Wonder Woman wrong twice, when the first one was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't trust you very much
Something
with
you
other stuff I
lost
care
something.
about. I don't know.
I don't know. It worries me, especially because like it makes no sense, or it matters at all. Doesn't matter at all.
And I'm over it, kind of.
We'll see.
So let's find out what Disney is up to now. Again, I guess since we're touching on them.
They're up to a lot of things.
Yeah. Have you seen the Shang-Chi trailer?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I went from not caring about it, but like not actively caring about it. Like not being
Right.
like Black Widow isn't even out yet, and not really thinking about it. I went
Right.
thinking about it, being like, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Like it is the first time I could, as far as I can remember, where I'm like, I'm watching a trailer. Halfway through, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It really doesn't have that vibe at all to it.
No, like it just looks like a straight up, like fantasy kung fu action movie, and I love kung fu movies, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, everything with Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, etc. Like these are some really, really good movies, and just a modern day version of that with the Marvel twist, kind of like.
Yeah. And the part I'm in, like the action looks clean. Like
Yes.
that like jump double kick looks so cool. Like I was just like,
or the scene where I think it's the Mandarin in the past, like jumping up and like coming down on that one woman, she's like spinning around, like it's just, oh my god, it looks so good. Like
it looks so good. The action looks so good in this movie.
Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that I felt Marvel has been lacking for the past couple of years. Like ever since Winter Soldier. Like I adore pretty much every single Marvel movie, but I can't argue with the criticism that Marvel movies are getting kind of samey with just like the way they look, the way they're directed, etc. Barring kind of Thor Ragnarok, but even then at times it's just a Marvel movie in space. Like this movie clearly went out of its way to be like, we are trying to do something different. And if you were unaware, this movie is the cinematographer is the same guy who did the cinematography for the Matrix movies and Scott Pilgrim and a couple other stuff. But those are like the two main things.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So like that's why it looks so dynamic, so just raw, and just so good. Just man.
Dude, I'm hyped for this movie.
Yeah. Like I don't like. It's one of those things where it's like I'm watching a Marvel movie where there's a scene set clearly like thousands of years ago in like ancient China or whatever, where two giant warring armies are running at each other, and they're just like a big dog thing just like running with them. Like what even? Like I didn't even question that.
I have no idea.
Like,
but I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah. like that's never been any Marvel movie. That's not anything. Obviously, nothing from our world. Like, it's not even like the rhinos from a Black Panther. It's some ancient creature that just exists. I guess it's just here.
Like,
but I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's like obviously there's the giant thing. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, Shang-Chi, the character looks great.
Yeah, looks like a very likable dude.
For most of the trailer, he's getting his butt handed to him.
Yeah.
Like, the montage of him training is him like, beating himself up. When he's like fighting the one masked character, he's getting kicked. When he's fighting the other woman, he's getting punched or whatever. Like, and then at the very end of the trailer, he does like the like punch double kick. Like that was the like
that was like, if you weren't sold yet, this will sell you.
Yes. Like jacket.
That was so like that right there was worth the price of admission. I'm like, I'm in.
Although this trailer did do the kind of dumb trailer thing where it's like you see a portion of the movie, and then immediately after that happens, there's a shot of something that clearly happened before what just happened. Like, for example, in the Wonder Woman 84 trailer, Wonder Woman like throws off her wings. She fights Cheetah for a second, and then like immediately after that, she's just flying with the wings again. Like that part clearly happened after, like her that happened before she threw off her wings. So
right,
so the flow of the trailer is off because you're flying now, whatever.
right.
Like clearly, I could be wrong about this, but just I'm pretty sure, Shang-Chi doing the whole like thing happened before he punched those guys. yet Aquafina was like, "Who are you?" And then it showed him do that, and then the title like just has a cool like stance to be like,
right,
Shang-Chi.
and then like the
I get
title
it,
of the movie instead of answering.
But I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you're right too, because that would make sense if they did all that and then he like gets in the stance. Because like you already beat the crap out of everybody, like you don't need to pose now, like. But
that's just a trailer thing. It happens all the time. It's not,
and that's the other thing. It's not just everyone does that with trailers, because trailers are very often aren't fluid, because even this Godzilla versus King Kong trailer, like there were obviously some scenes where you're like, okay, well that's probably the end. That's probably halfway through. Like you kind of just.
Yeah, like I'm not docking the trailer at all. It's just something I noticed and just that I wanted to bring up. But yeah, the trailer itself looked great. I'm super excited to see the real Mandarin. I really like the updated look where instead of the rings like on his fingers, they're like bands on his arm. I thought that was a really cool updated version of that. Like also I love how in this trailer the only like power the only powers we saw was that one instance of the Mandarin like punching that table with like this blue aura. And like everything else that happened, generally speaking, was just Shang-Chi doing kung fu, or other characters just like doing kung fu stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas in the comics, Shang-Chi has like energy projection. He can like clone himself. Like he has like a bunch of different like powers that are like inherent to his ki or whatever. But we never actually saw him do any of that. It was. Are you kidding me? Twice? Like, what are you? We're not that important. Same person too. It's either a robot call or a.
Do you know who it is? You don't know who it is?
It just says wireless caller.
Oh no!
Like it's a robocall. Go away. And they didn't even leave a message either. Like I don't. Anyway. Leave message this time? No? Okay.
They call back again. Answer. Be like, stop calling me.
Yeah, like I think throughout this movie, Shang-Chi will like be kind of developing his powers naturally throughout, or he'll finally unlock his powers at the very end.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but he'll still be really good fighter outside of that, and I think essentially, no, I'm not gonna say that, whatever. Like I think that is just a really cool concept for a character like this, where like even though it is a Marvel movie where you expect them to have powers and have fantastic abilities, him just being really good at the thing he does, which is punching and kicking people, that essentially is going to be his power for most of the movie until he actually gets his like real powers at the end. I think that's just going to be a cool change of pace. Really, this whole movie is going to be just a blast.
Yeah, and I think it would be better if he didn't get his powers till the end, so we can focus on like the actual physical like. But then when he has to go with like the Avengers or something, then he still has powers. So, it kind of it helps. It doesn't it doesn't just make this movie a cakewalk, but it also
yeah. Plus, I think I really really hope they don't kill off the Mandarin in this movie. Like I think he'll be a villain, but I don't think he'll be the main villain in this movie. I think like the person with that mask on will be the main villain, and then the Mandarin might just kind of stick around.
Be in the background for future things. And and that's what they should do more, I think. So I think they killed their villains off way too much.
Yeah, like he easily could be like a arc villain, not to Thanos level, but maybe even Loki level. Like
maybe,
like I could like he to the point where he could easily be if he's as powerful and dangerous in this movie as he is in the comics, he could very easily be like an Avengers level threat. Like I could very easily see him just like Loki showing up in one movie to then in like 2 movies from now being like the main Avengers villain, and then maybe they kill him there, maybe they not, but at least they make him a big deal in the MCU finally. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's definitely gonna be good, and like I think again, Marvel's continuing the standard of very solid movies, but yeah, I like music going in different directions with like because not every movie is a super world saving. This might just be like on the ground level stuff.
Yeah. Plus, going throughout different periods of time, just it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna go ahead and touch on the elephant in the room. Falcon and Winter Soldier did end this past weekend. We're not going to review it today. We're not even going to talk about it at all today. There is also one pretty major bit of news that happened kind of pertaining to that we're not going to talk about today. I want to bring that up, when we actually review Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
We don't talk about that thing that I'm talking about.
So not the thing with the yes, that one.
We'll talk about that next time. But so yeah, that's just to get that out there. Last little bit of Marvel news. Chloe Zhao, who is going to be directing Marvel's The Eternals coming out later this November, she is officially the first Oscar-winning director directing a Marvel movie, which she won an Oscar for her movie Nomadland, which I haven't heard anything about, but apparently it's good enough to win an Oscar. So she's the first Marvel director who's an Oscar-winning director. So that's cool.
Well, there you go. Well, I think that just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the Oscars were this past Sunday. So
okay. Wow.
Yeah, but like, especially for the Eternals, which already like as a concept is a little pretentious already. Like it just like it would fit that vibe so well to have on all the trailers be like Academy Award winning director Chloe.
Yeah. Like in your I'm better than you.
Yeah. So that's like
that's cool.
Yeah, but The Eternals is a movie that I know nothing about these characters. I'm not excited, but like I need to see something about it first in order to like really get a feel for it. I know it's going to be good because it's Marvel and Chloe, it's in good hands because she won an Oscar.
Right.
But
still, you want to see it just to like.
Yeah. So it's coming out later this year. Probably going to be good. It's cool to see Avenger stuff happening in space again. Probably follow up on what Nick Fury is doing with Sword in space. So neat.
I just love how like he's just in space and we're just kind of like, oh yeah, that's going on. Kind of just, oh yeah, he's in space, he's hanging out, like good for him. Like just like such a huge thing. We're just
last little bit of Disney news. Apparently Rian Johnson is in talks to direct at least one episode of The Mandalorian season 3.
Ooh, okay. I know some people hear that and they're like, no, not my Star Wars. But I mean, like,
I hear that and say, yay.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right. Well, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think it'll be fine.
I like The Last Jedi quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think he's actually the only director working now who like, well, not the only one, but like as far, relative to J.J. Abrams, he actually understands Star Wars, even though people say he doesn't. He literally understands it better than pretty much anybody I know, except for maybe Dave Filoni. Actually, definitely Dave Filoni.
Well, yeah, okay, but I mean that's.
But Dave Filoni is making The Mandalorian, so
yeah, I would say like Tim Filoni, Jon Favreau, and then everybody else. Like then it's like okay.
Of the people that they can bring in to direct an episode of the show, it would make sense to bring in him, maybe even Gareth Edwards, the guy that did I think he did Rogue One. Like
okay.
Yeah. Like bring them in to take a crack at the show. Like yeah. Especially since Rogue One isn't nearly as contentious as Last Jedi, obviously, but like this is technically low stakes, but it still is a big deal that he's directing Mandalorian. But like,
Yeah.
if
And there are only 8 episodes. So
exactly, if one
we're
episode,
gonna know which one's yours.
yeah, if one episode of The Mandalorian sucks, and that's the one that Ryan Johnson made, then maybe I'll change my. I won't change my tune on The Last Jedi. Maybe I'll change my tune on Ryan Johnson going forward with Star Wars stuff. Like, you know, not every single episode of Mandalorian so far has been an absolute banger, but like they've all been pretty good.
Yeah.
But like as of right now, I'm excited to watch a Ryan Johnson directed episode of Mandalorian. So
yeah, I think it'll be really good. Yeah, I think it'll be good. And again, it's like the Mandalorian. It's like, you know, he's only getting one episode. It's not like he's getting a whole season. So it's like, you know, it's gonna be difficult to mess up.
exactly. Like it's not like what was his name? Rodriguez. The guy who is making the Boba Fett show, the one that that's what does the Spy Kids movies.
Yeah. What is
that guy? Oh my goodness.
Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez.
How is that so difficult to come up with Robert?
Because not to.
I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that to like, how did you not get that? I'm talking about like me too. Like I was thinking.
No, like not to like stereotype or anything, but with a name like Rodriguez, you're not expecting just like a normal name, fair, like a normal. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. It's just kind of like
just kind of like a name.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, so like it's not like Robert Rodriguez. If the episode that he directed sucked or was like totally just not what you're looking for, or just a bad episode of the show, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's directing this other Star Wars thing that's going to be important later, that would be an issue.
Yeah.
But because, you know, as of right now, Ryan Johnson just getting one episode, we're still not even sure if his trilogy is actually really happening.
Kind of just in the air, kind of more or less.
Like obviously, I hope it does, because I like Last Jedi quite a bit, and I think him making a movie that's not directly tied to anything the fanboys can complain about would be right up his alley. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Now, in other nerd news, did you know that Amazon was making a Lord of the Rings series?
Amazon?
Yeah, they're making a Lord of the Rings show for their Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, right. Amazon. I totally forgot Amazon Prime. I watch Amazon Prime once a week, and I forgot Amazon Prime exists. I was like, Amazon has streaming? And I was like, oh, like you knew that.
Yeah.
You own it.
You own it. You watch at least one show on there every week.
I know. And it's like, oh, yeah. I literally just watched, like, not even that show, like a show before that. I watched like 9 seasons worth of a show and like totally forgot Amazon had streaming. And I was like, Amazon streaming? It's like you just watched 9 seasons worth of Suits, and then you're just like, oh yeah.
I think we're gonna be reviewing that show next time. I think it's actually
okay.
I think it's ending.
Right, because the finale's tomorrow. So like,
yeah,
I believe. So like,
we'll talk about it. I don't want to.
Yeah. We'll get
too
there.
into it right now.
We'll get there. There's much to discuss. But,
oh my goodness. Anyway.
But yeah, okay. So they're getting a Lord of the Rings. Okay, that's risky, man. Yes. Lord of the Rings is one, like as we know from last podcast, what was it, like top 20 biggest medias or something like that? It? Like it was up there.
It was number 20, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, top 20 biggest medias on Earth. So like,
yeah, number 20.
Obviously, it goes without saying. Yeah, a lot of fans, like people really love them from Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. So tread lightly, because if you mess this up.
Amazon seems to understand just how important this show should be taken, because do you want to guess the budget for this show? Keep in mind, The Mandalorian has $150 million budget for 8 episodes. We don't know how many episodes this show is going to be. Let's assume 8, because
is it like 200?
More.
What? Oh man.
Mhm.
Like 225. More? 250?
Why are you
No,
still in the 200s? What are you doing? Go up.
350.
$465 million
Serious?
is
Four?
it, obviously it is the most expensive single
No,
season
no, no.
TV
That no.
show of
It is
all time.
double the most like triple. Like, good gracious.
I want
This
to.
is huge though.
I need
Okay.
to fact check something real quick. If I can spell right.
I mean, that is,
Uh,
I don't think anything's close to that.
if I remember correctly. Okay, so do you know what the movie with the highest budget of all time was?
The movie?
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't. I couldn't even
Let
tell
me
you.
let me just do one thing real quick. Okay. Okay. The movie with the highest budget of all time. Why is it this movie? Was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
Are you serious?
Not even Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Not even Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 has the highest budget of all time at
How much of a budget was it?
$410 million.
For what? Wait a minute. What? Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Wait, I don't even remember which one that is.
That's the one with Blackbeard.
Oh yeah. Wait, why? Why did that have so much
I have
money?
no idea.
What
Nothing
was so
happens
different
in that
about this?
movie. Is it all the mermaids? Like, what are you doing?
But like, I don't even. I don't. Yeah, I.
The movie,
No, I don't get it. Why
the
is it
movie
so
with
much more expensive?
Davy Jones, like, maybe the best CG ever in a movie. Like
Yeah,
Davy
no, I mean, it
Jones,
looks
like for
super
how many
real, but
intrinsic parts and like just how good it looks still. Pirates of the Caribbean 3, not on top of Davy Jones, all of his crew having all those
yeah,
parts, his ship, everything, like the
like
water effects.
very specific, crazy good stuff.
Yeah, just everything that happens in that movie, like all the practical effects, everything. 300 million. This movie has 100 million on its predecessor, and nothing happens in it.
I have no idea what they put in that movie to make.
Sorry, oh, what's the name? Did Johnny Depp just require a higher salary, like that much higher?
That's what I'm thinking. Like that can't be based on like just
Penelope
production
Cruz
cost.
need like 120 million just to sign up? Like, what are you doing?
That doesn't make any sense. Like,
I don't like it made $1 billion at the box office, so I guess it got the money's worth. But come on,
but like,
Endgame had a 350.
so,
Endgame had
yeah, that makes no.
350.
That doesn't make any sense though.
I don't.
That's
But
so much.
all that to say, Amazon's Lord of the Rings has a higher budget for a single season than Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
Okay, now that I know the context of that, what that means, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Still, like,
You have 110 million over Endgame.
and that has like all the CGI in it. Like, so like, I mean, I get it, but like, goodness gracious, it feels so unnecessary.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I
I
mean,
hope
this
it
is
works
big for
out for
Lord of the
the.
Rings because this is Lord of the Rings, so you got to go hard.
Yeah, and they're
But
Amazon, they can afford it.
right, obviously, but it's still like, man, this is a lot going on just to like kind of. I don't know. That's a lot, though. I mean, a lot for
Essentially,
a
what that
show.
number means is that if this show is bad,
Oh man,
it'll be even like just hilarious.
and that's the thing. It's gonna be hard to make it good. Not that Lord of the Rings isn't good. It's like to make everybody happy is going to be difficult.
It's apparently set in like the second age, where like apparently that's the age where the rings were like in the hands of the different tribes before Sauron was defeated the first time, I think.
Okay.
So it won't be like a remake of the movies, it'll be its own thing.
Right.
So hopefully, like Gandalf might be around. I'm not sure exactly the timeline of all that, but probably fanboys won't be upset because they won't be like touching anything that they hold dear, but there's still a chance it could just be structurally not good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like it feels very. I don't know. Like it could be like this could be the huge thing because if this does work out, yeah, this will definitely put I'll never forget Amazon as a streaming service ever again.
Yeah.
But and again, I think Amazon, and I think if this does go well, I think this is huge. This is their like, admittedly, this might be a little late because the whole Game of Thrones kind of like era kind of is, but again, it's Lord of the Rings, so it's obviously timeless.
Yeah. Plus,
So
I know there's at least 2 different Game of Thrones spin-offs in the works over HBO. So
jeez,
different creators. So
I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, Game of Thrones is great, but I don't know the way that ended. I think people just have a bad taste.
Oh, you're right. One's a prequel and one's just like set in the same universe, I think. So it's not touching. It's not like going forward in the timeline because no one wants to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that show had better be good if it's worth 400 million.
Yeah, if it's all I'm saying is if it's not good, it won't. You might stop hearing from Amazon Prime. That's for sure. That's a lot of money on a show
for 8 episodes of one season. Like, if you told me that like after the Mandalorian completely wrapped up, like however, if it got like 5 seasons, and you told me that that show had like a $500 million budget for the entire show, I would believe you. Even if you told me it had a $600 million budget for the entire show for 5 seasons, I would absolutely believe that. But to have almost that amount for one season is insane.
They better have the best looking CGI.
Yeah, like especially considering just how good the Mandalorian CG generally is. Those orcs better look freaking real.
Better look better than what was that Netflix movie with the orcs in it?
Bright.
The Will Smith one. What was that?
Bright.
Called? Yes. Oh it better look better than that.
I hate that movie. So
yeah. So funny. But yeah,
yeah, I think that show is coming out in 2022. We'll see if it actually does.
Okay, I'm excited though.
Yeah. Yeah. Something I'm more ironically excited for, and something that just like I read this headline, I'm like, sure, why not? Vin Diesel to star in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah, like why not?
Like, it's like I you said Vin Diesel, but I was like him, Dwayne Johnson, John Cena are like the 3 people, and for some reason Kevin Hart. Even though Kevin Hart's the smallest man on the planet, but we're some like that would add up. So yes, yeah. I could see that. Now Vin Diesel, the only thing about Vin Diesel is like Vin Diesel is like a not funny version of Dwayne Johnson. Yes. Not that Dwayne Johnson's hilarious, but like if he says a joke, I might laugh at it. Vin Diesel saying a joke, I'm like, wait, what did he say?
Exactly.
So it's like
this like a movie called Rock'em Sock'em Robots has to be played as a comedy, but I don't pin Vin Diesel as a comedic actor. No,
like I feel like they wanted to get Dwayne Johnson. He was already doing something else, and then they're like, okay, what's Dwayne Johnson, but not.
Yes,
that's what because Vin Diesel. I don't know. Granted, I don't think I've seen every Vin Diesel movie, but the only Vin Diesel movie I've ever seen that was kind of funny was The Pacifier, but it wasn't really him. It was kind of he was the serious one, and everything around him was funny.
Yeah, it's just
so it's kind of like this is going to be interesting, and that was like a 2004 movie. That's an old movie. So like
that was back in that era where like Dwayne Johnson was like a tooth fairy or something, and like,
and what is the football one with Madison Pettis from Disney Channel? The Game Plan. That's what it was. That movie. That was like in that era where it was like the big muscular guys like funny stuff
Yeah.
happens around him, but he's all serious.
Yeah, like Jackie Chan babysat those two kids where he's also
Yeah,
fighting off the Yakuza. Like, it's just okay.
yeah, it was like in that. But yeah, I don't know about it because like again, I don't. Because here's the thing: if they do rock, if they battleship this and try to make this serious, it's gonna flop so hard. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Yeah,
kind of
you're
the feel
right.
I'm getting when you say Vin Diesel, because like, okay, Vin Diesel's not going to be the comedy guy. So I'm like,
If we hear that Rihanna gets casted in this, it's over. It's done.
over.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I feel like Rihanna did that and was like, I'm not doing movies anymore. I'm gonna stick to what I'm good at. Because like, dude, that movie made no sense. That movie, no one need that movie should
I
not
think
have
she was
existed.
in that movie from like 2 years ago, Valerian.
Oh, that is. Hold on.
Yeah, she was in that for a hot second. As like a shapeshifter. Wasn't very good.
But I'm like, why do you need?
You're like one of the highest.
Oh yeah, you are right. Yeah,
She is one of the most
movie,
successful singer-songwriters of all time. Why you don't need to be a movie star?
Yeah, like like not okay. Obviously, we're talking. Obviously, people like Dwayne Johnson stuff are movie stars. So it's like I'm not just gonna say stay in your lane because like
Yeah.
some people can go to multiple things, but it's like your agent needs to pick some better movies.
Yeah, Ocean's 8 also not great. Like,
yeah, that kind of yeah. I don't know,
like,
but yeah, but
I mean, for
going
the record,
back
every
to this,
movie after the first Ocean's 11, like from 2001 or whatever it is, and hasn't been very good.
And I feel like those movies really mostly work just because they had everybody in them. Because I mean, it was like every single it was like Clooney,
Brad Pitt,
DiCaprio, every single guy, and they had
not
Bernie
DiCaprio.
Mac.
It wasn't DiCaprio. It was Brad Pitt, Clooney, Matt Damon, Don Cheadle.
Oh, it's not okay. Maybe it's a different. I'm thinking of something else, but no. Yeah, it has like okay, it has everybody. It has most of the people you would expect, and then a couple funny people.
Yeah,
and it was and that's kind of made it work. It's like all the good-looking people, a couple funny. Because I remember Bernie Mac, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. Like
first one, actually, like all three are, they're like, the second and third one are not good movies, but like they're fun. Like they.
Yeah.
If you're here to watch a heist movie, like they're fine. The first one's actually pretty good, but like you mostly stick around just for like the character interactions after that point. But yeah, Ocean's 8, even though it had a ton of fantastic actresses in it, just wasn't
Yeah,
just didn't work out.
it feels weird because didn't we already have kind of like a Rock'em Sock'em Robots type of movie?
Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
Yes, that kind of already happened.
My first thought when I read that, it's like we already did this.
Yeah, I was like, how did this? And granted, I didn't see that either, but like,
I think it's on Netflix. I don't
know, but like, I don't know. I never really thought that was that interesting. But I'm like, this seems worse.
Yep.
This sounds a lot worse. And it's like Vin Diesel, and I'm just like, oh man, all right, well, we'll see. But I don't know. It sounds like a train wreck from here. It's still early, so who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if it gives off Battleship vibes. I don't want it to, because Battleship isn't even a fun bad.
No, Battleship is a why am I watching this?
Yeah. We'll see. Like I said, it's still early, so maybe it'll surprise us. It won't, but maybe, I don't know. Something that is a surefire good, something we've been asking for years. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is in the works from the same guys that remastered Jedi Outcast and all those for the Switch and consoles.
Yes.
Yes. Like whereas Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy and the new one, Republic Commando and all those, even though those were remasters, this KOTOR is specifically billed as a remake.
Okay.
So
okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good. I think, yeah, we'll be good. We'll, it'll bring back, I think, a lot of the old elements, but kind of also be its own thing.
Yeah. Which, did it have turn-based combat? I know it's technically an RPG. Did it have?
I don't know if it was turn-based. I think it had other RPG elements, but I don't think it was like specifically turn.
Right,
but then again,
there's a Star Wars game that had turn-based combat. I can't remember if it was that one or not. Regardless, I have a feeling that because the Final Fantasy VII remake allowed you to do the more like open action combat with the opportunity to have more classic style combat just as an option. If this game is the game I'm thinking of that has the turn-based combat,
Okay.
if it is, okay.
Yeah. Apparently, okay. So I'm looking right now. Apparently, it's like it was a little more turn-based back then, but I think they're doing the Final Fantasy VII route where they're kind of just like it's gonna just go more action RPG and kind of just like
I'm fine with that.
And I think that's probably the right move for a Star Wars game too.
Like especially since these guys do already have have already worked on Jedi games in the past with Outcast and Academy and all that. Like it makes sense that they would update this. And yeah, like it is no doubt one of the best Star Wars games ever made. It's a game that EA has been sitting on for years, even though they own the guys that made it. So now that the Star Wars license has been lifted off of EA's stupid shoulders, they're like, hey, can we just we've been having fun remastering these other great Star Wars classics, but we want to try our hands completely remaking this this one we're actually passionate about making, and like, yeah, do it. Why not?
Please. Yeah, and like that's kind of what we want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this, I feel like this being announced was kind of the turning point for Star Wars games are going to finally be good again. Like we had an announcement that Ubisoft was working on a Star Wars game, but like every Ubisoft game is pretty much the same nowadays. Like I'm not expecting it to be like blow my mind type thing. I mean, it was kind of starting with Fallen Order, but still that was still under EA. So like I'm never confident in EA sequels to be as good as the first one, regardless. So just allowing other studios to have the IP, make games that they actually want to make. One of those being a KOTOR remake or sequel or something. Good. Apparently, there's also a rumor of a Mandalorian game being in the works by somebody.
Okay.
Whether that's the Ubisoft game or some other guy entirely. Correct.
Yeah, that would in fact be the right move.
Yeah, it's so good to finally feel like we're in an era of Star Wars can be good again. Like whether it be, Bad Batch coming out next Tuesday, like boom,
yeah,
Star Wars is good again.
That is right, dude. May is like right around the corner. That is right. So we got that. So, see, always more content, and I'm okay with that.
But yeah, like that's exciting. And since they have been porting all the remasters to Switch, I might actually get to play KOTOR this time. So I feel like it's completely missed it in the past. Like I've seen gameplay and stuff of it since, and like watch full Let's Plays of it, but I never actually got to actually play it.
Right.
If it does come to Switch or whatever Nintendo console in the future, if it waits that long, like neat.
Like, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So I think that's all the stuff I have to talk about here. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
That's all everything I've got from here.
Okay. So next week is also going to be a huge week for us. Like we're going to be reviewing Falcon and Soldier, probably reviewing Invincible on Amazon Prime, which is ending tomorrow. So if you haven't seen that, watch it. It's
100%.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Maybe Mortal Kombat if we get around to watching that.
We'll just review everything we've seen in the last.
Let's just review the Clone Wars game while we're at it.
Like I'll rewatch it. I got time. Like, only a couple hundred episodes. We got time.
It'd be good. Okay.
Let's just review everything we've seen. Just sneak in all of Young Justice again.
Okay, sure.
It's like, okay.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, actually, that's only like.
Is it all on HBO Max now?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Cool. I know Harley Quinn moved over there, so.
Oh yeah. I need to get my brother into that because it's hilarious.
Yeah, season 3 is coming out, I think, later this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
content.
I still haven't seen that Titans show on Disney. On sorry, on HBO. I don't plan to. I maybe will see Doom Patrol at some point. Maybe. Have you seen Doom Patrol?
I have not.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point.
I don't. I heard. I haven't really heard anything about it. I'll admit, I haven't heard much.
I've only heard decent things, like not, but I haven't heard many things. You know, I've only heard good things and not like many people actually talking about it. So I don't know. Well, maybe at some point. Like I have HBO, so I might as well watch something on there while I have it.
Yeah, it's like you might as well use it. There's plenty.
So yeah, with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.